Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our July 27th, 2023 Washington State Human Rights Commission meeting. This is my first meeting as chair, so bear with me, but I've got the 9 bullet point agenda, which should be foolproof to follow, but we'll see. You never know.
You're doing great so far.
I know. I opened and I welcomed. So number 1 checked. I know we have to take roll, so would the clerk please take roll?
Thank you. Chair Spey.
Present.
Commissioner Demas. Commissioner Gamboa.
Present.
Commissioner Jasmine.
Present.
Commissioner Tran.
Present.
Director Andrita Armstrong.
Present.
Deputy Director Jacqueline Strong-Moss.
Present.
Assistant Attorney General Kristen Lamson.
Present.
For the record, Allison Riffer, Commission Clerk. Any other callers on the line wishing to introduce themselves for the record may take themselves off mute and do so now.
Deborah Gonzalez, Administrative Services Manager.
Roll call is concluded. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So the emails that we got included what looked like 53 case closures. None were pulled. And there were 9 attachments addressing them. Is there a motion pertaining to the case closures?
I was reviewing them this morning, and there's not a motion. It's a clarification. One of the cases, Johnson v. Honda, Bailey v. Subway. There's a finding, but there's no supporting documentation.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Gamboa, I didn't hear that.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm just saying that one of the cases that was closed as no reasonable finding, there was that finding, but no supporting documents as to what the case was about, or even what was being charged.
Typically, we give you the finding, and was there a finding?
No, that's what I'm saying. There was nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
then we can, let's see. During the course of this meeting, we can go ahead and send out a finding, or we could just set that one aside, and then we close it next month.
Yeah, I think that's what's usually done.
Okay. I apologize. It should be there. Okay.
I checked 2 or 3 times and I couldn't see it.
Thank you.
I just wanted to comment positively on another case, Johnson v. Honda of Moses Lake, which was, which was settled for $75,000, which I thought was pretty, it's pretty good for the commission. And also congratulate investigator Riley Wessel. I'm going to miss her name.
Yes, I think if in reading the findings and the settlements, they've been pretty big lately, and there have been more settlements for larger amounts, and actually more settlements. And so our folks are rolling up their sleeves and really working hard, particularly with this backlog. It's harder to investigate these cases because of the length of the backlog. And so our folks are really making a concerted effort to see if it's in the best interest of the public as well as the individual parties to settle.
Good. Yeah, that's all I have.
All right. So the one.
I can second the
That
motion to close.
case, yeah, so the case I think that we're pulling is Jelinek versus Subway. That's in PDF number 4.
It's Bailey, Bailey, Subway. I think it's Bailey is
Yeah.
the last name, I believe.
Okay, all
Okay.
right. That's case number 24ED008622-3. So I guess the motion would be pertaining to all other of the 52 cases with exception to that matter. And is there a motion regarding those?
I so
Yes,
moved.
not a motion, but a point of clarification. James Hanna versus Peace Health. I didn't find, it was no reasonable cause, but I didn't see the signature for the investigator and the manager attached to it. I'm sure it was signed off. It just wasn't included in the packet.
Okay, if it's in on the agenda, it was signed off. It was just inadvertently not placed in. And we have tightened up our process, but it seems like there's an indication that we need to have a few more checks and balances. But I assure you that it was signed off.
All right. So
Allison, I'm sorry. Allison Riffer, our commission clerk, has something to say.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry to interrupt everyone. Allison Riffer, Commission Clerk. I do have PDF 4 up in front of me, and I am seeing the signed finding for Hannah B. Peace Health on page 9, and I am seeing the closure documents for Jelnick v. Subway beginning on page 12. And so if there's something you're seeing differently on your end, I'll absolutely back up, but just wanted to let people know that those documents are currently included in PDF 4.
Okay, let me take a
And
look.
those are the same ones that were sent out, because I checked 2 or 3 times and it was only a 1-page document, the finding, no supporting documentation. Anyway, why don't you just clarify that as we agreed before, for next meeting?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Commissioners.
okay. So and I have got PDF 4 open as well now.
I see it now. Apologies, I missed it. Yeah, it's there.
And Jacqueline has something to say, probably on
Yes.
this.
Correct, thank you. I would just ask that Allison, the commission clerk, if she's has that capacity to share her screen to show that PDF. And there may have been some problem with the transmission to Commissioner Spey, but my point is, if the commission clerk can share her screen and show that PDF, that may be a point of clarification. Are you able to do that, Allison?
Yes, one moment. I can bring up my screen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jacqueline.
All right, one moment, please. So I've got the signed finding for Hannah James v. Peace Health displaying on the screen.
So Commissioner Gamboa, I think you're on the phone, so you're unable to see it. Am I correct? I think you're on the phone. Am I correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. But we're seeing it on the screen.
Okay, well, if you can vouch for that, I'm fine with that.
Thank you.
Screen sharing is over. Thank you.
All right, so that relates to the 2 matters, Hannah versus Peace Health and Bailey Jelinek versus Subway. I'll let the group make the motion they want to make regarding the 53 cases. It sounds like there's the findings were there, and so we don't necessarily need to tie it over, but if there's a compelling interest in doing so, we can certainly address that. So I'll open it up for motions at this time.
I move we close the cases.
I second it.
All right. So there's a motion to close all 53 cases, including the 2 that we've discussed today. Is there, let me see. Oh, yeah, 53. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, great. So those are approved. Thank you, everybody, for your diligent review on that. Up next is our executive director reporting. So I'll kick it over to our executive director.
Okay. I don't have anything to add, but I do want to note that our investigators are making a concerted effort to get through the backlog, along with management, with Jacqueline and I. What we're doing is we're adding more staff, and we're looking in the backlog and asking the parties if they would like to participate in an early dispute resolution option. And it seems like it's working well for us. And then we're also being more focused on training. So things are moving slower than I would like, but I'm thankful that we're moving faster. And I think we're being very thoughtful in our actions. And all that equates to, I believe, good customer service.
What's the backlog nowadays?
Yeah,
We're
that's my
looking
question.
at 9 months, approximately 9 months for housing and a year for employment.
Wow.
We within the next couple of weeks, before your next meeting, we would have hired a housing manager for the recent past. The former assistant director was acting as manager of housing as well as her other duties, and Jacqueline has absorbed those same duties, and it's a little much. And so we just completed the position description, and we're looking forward to getting a manager on board that that person can brainstorm with us and focus on process improvement, how we can make things better and faster. So that's housing. And in employment, we are I think there's probably there's been a couple of investigators that have left the agency, and we are focused on hiring more. And so you'll be seeing an added we'll add to our staff real soon. So we've been working on it.
Yeah.
How many positions do you have available for employment?
We're planning on hiring about 7 folks, and they range from managers to investigator ones. And also we're talking about admin staff, because we need the staff too, administrative staff to help support us processing these cases.
Okay. And do you have like a goal of by when you reduce the backlog to a more realistic?
Yes, our goal is to implement strategies and evaluate those strategies after they're implemented. And if it looks like it's moving us faster, and we have we're being as thorough as we need to be, then we'll probably lock in that particular strategy. If we have implemented something and it doesn't seem like we're getting the results, then we'll do something different. It's just an ongoing process. And while we are implementing then, sometimes employees are leaving the agency too. And recently, the union has approved the investigators getting a bump up because we were not equal to the market. And so investigators would go to different places where they have higher salaries. And so
Right.
that's going to help us out a whole lot. That investigators 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s starting this month received a 3-range jump. So plus cost of living raise. So that should help us out quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a priority.
Hiring is tough everywhere across the board nowadays. So
Mhm.
Yes.
we get it. All right.
Thanks. That's all I have.
I
Thank you,
did have a
Executive Director.
question. So what's the ideal and realistic backlog we can get to? I know it depends on how many investigators we can hire and staff and admin and all that. But what do we want to get to?
I think that I think the ideal is within 3 months, within 2 months, we want to be able to assign those investigations and for them to be actively working. I think that's very reasonable.
Okay. All right.
What is the usual turnaround time, assuming no backlog? How long does it take for an average investigation until we get a conclusion?
That's a good question. There's an expectation of HUD certainly to complete the investigation by 100 days. And EEOC expects within 3 months. So it's about the same.
Okay, but with the backlog, if I file something today, realistically, that person's not going to get a decision until a year from there.
Yes, and not only that, it makes it even more troubling when we haven't gotten to the charge to even investigate it for 9 months or a year, and so it makes it very troubling for evidence. So we understand the predicament that we're in, and that's one of the reasons why we are focused on asking the parties that are already in the queue if they would like to settle. From the very beginning, we are asking in our communication to them, when in our early communication to them that there has been a charge, we're asking both parties if they would like to settle the matter. And of course, we screen and give them information about that. But it's good for them to consider settling, because that's a way that we can move through the backlog and really give them the service that they deserve.
Director Armstrong, is there a standard work document you can share for how that settlement process proceeds?
Yeah, we can share. I can share with the commissioners at our next meeting what that communication looks like when we send it out to the parties, asking them if they would like to settle, because there's some other information that we share with them. For instance, in the communication that there has been a charge, we give a copy of the charge, and we give the respondent the opportunity to, instead of answering the charge, if they prefer to talk about settlement first, because there's resources that they use to answer, but they may want to say, I'll just defer answering, and then, but I do want to participate in settling. And so, and yeah, I would love to share that at our next meeting. So
That'd be
we'll
wonderful.
put that on the agenda.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And any statistics or facts that about how it's been working? Because I've noticed in some cases, that seems to be working pretty good.
Yeah.
What have the results been of your early, your change in practice of encouraging early settlement?
I didn't hear it, Commissioner Gamboa. You said.
I said any early results that you're seeing from your new approach in terms of how to show that it's having an impact or not.
Yeah, well, it's thanks. That's a good question. It's anecdotal at this point. However, there have been one fair housing investigator has gone through the backlog, and there have been it seems like about 4 settlements that came from that. So, Jacqueline, maybe you can speak to it more, but I was just thrilled.
Right.
I will be glad to brag on the team a little bit. And when I say that, there has been a concerted effort when cases come in to, once a charge has been filed, to ask the respondent to provide their version of what has happened and to ask for that early. And that has been helpful. And as a result of that, the investigators have been able to initiate the conciliation process much earlier. And when you have facts on the books or on the table that show that there may be a reason for the respondent to consider conciliation, the investigators are moving on that much more quickly than they were in the past. And what we're seeing, I can share with you now, I have 6 on my table right now that you will be seeing for closure in August. And we are getting just good results from that. We are also making sure that we're asking the right questions, that the investigators are taking time, making sure that the settlements are equitable. And basically, it's a work in process. But I can tell you now, the conciliation numbers have gone up. That is a good thing. That means people are getting remedies for allegations of abuse. And we are monitoring that and checking that very, very closely. So thank you for your questions. And if you have anything that you'd like for me to share or follow up on, I'll gladly do so. But just know you're going to see more of these conciliation agreements in the August meeting. And if you'd like to speak with an adjuster or even ask or send me questions that you would like for me to respond to, I will gladly do so, because it has been a good turnaround process. Andrea, anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
One thing I'll say so if you were to file a lawsuit, it would take you at least a year to get a trial date, if you get a trial date at the outset of the case. And that's in the counties in Washington that will have what I think are rocket dockets, in that you file and then all of a sudden you get a trial date a year later. And that's wonderful. And that's assuming everything goes according to plan. But I share that because in more and more counties now, there are strict requirements to do ADR before trial. Pierce County, for example, has a more of a loose requirement in that they just require some kind of formal settlement talks, whether they be in front of a mediator or a third-party neutral or otherwise. King County, on their hand, requires people to incur the expense or find someone who does it for free, but to attend a mediation at some point in the case before they reach judgment day. And I know our role is rather different, but those requirements on the legal side have resulted in probably 99% of resolution of all of these types of claims. They just go away because people start to realize that there's some risk for both sides in seeing the process through. Do we actually, as a commission, have a formal ADR process, or is it more of a, once the matter is filed, there's an encouragement or a recommendation to participate in settlement discussions?
You're muted, Director Armstrong.
I'm sorry. It's not formal in the sense of a specific process. However, we do a number of things. We do participate. We ask folks if they would like to participate in settlement negotiations that could include a fact-finding conference. And a fact-finding conference is instructions for the parties to bring all of their proposed evidence in a meeting, and then you discuss settlement in that context. And if the matter is not settled, then they've already been told early on that information will further the investigation. So the investigation can be accelerated by a fact-finding conference. So we consider that as a tool of settlement as well.
Yeah, part of the problem, of course, is that a lot of folks who file these types of matters with our commission are usually unrepresented. And so there's a question automatically, it's an equitable question of, are the systems, preferring some type of litigant over another? And that's a subject of a different conversation. And frankly, it's a policy question. It's a very complicated and nuanced question. I'm happy to hear that the commission is encouraging people to talk because it's easy when you file a complaint, everybody retreats their corners. And in the face of a backlog, things get stale and, outcomes become stale as well. So I'm happy to hear that. And if there's anything that I can do to help, especially since I've seen how these types of programs work across various counties in the legal context and litigation, which I maintain is not always the most equitable way, but, rules exist and, we got to follow them, at least as a private litigant. I'm happy to comment and help on that.
Thank you.
And Rita, may I add one thing? This is Jacqueline Strong-Moss, Deputy Director. And the key point to remember is that our investigators are neutrals. They do not represent one party or the other. They are by statute neutral fact finders. And therefore, we lay that out very clearly at the beginning of every investigation. And what they do, they look at the facts and they make a determination as a neutral fact finder. They're not an advocate. Oftentimes we are encouraged to take on that role, and but the statute is very clear what the investigative role is, and it is as a neutral. So I just wanted to assure you that our guys and our investigators, they are not advocates. And so that's a real important distinction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something we definitely can see in the findings in terms of how they present their findings and their investigation and the information they get. It's very clear that they are independent. Yes.
Thank you.
It's unfortunate that the law is that way, because that puts the plaintiff at a real disadvantage, because the employers usually have a team of lawyers representing them, and then they put up their version of the events, and it's the commission being neutral. It's a complicated process, of establishing what prima facie case, and then the other side presents, then the rebuttal, and so it does put the plaintiffs at a disadvantage. And that's just my personal feeling.
Yeah, well, it's even worse if they were to file a lawsuit. the judge and the jury there don't do anything to help investigate.
Yeah.
They just wait to listen, and if it's not enough, it's not enough. At least here, the system is such that it allows the investigator to investigate and be the fact finder, not just on a reactive, but on a proactive manner. So, there's at least that valid and helpful distinction as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that was a very healthy discussion about that. Thank you all for your input. Is there anything else that the group wishes to talk to our executive director about? All right, hearing none, we'll move to commissioner reporting. Does the group have anything to report or discuss?
I do have a follow-up to a couple meetings ago, a couple months ago regarding caste discrimination. And it's not really any big update. It's just to keep in mind that we still need to get the packet out for caste discrimination. I think we were expecting it possibly from AG Kristen Lamson. Just wondering what the status of that packet is. And then also I'll re-forward the email to the group here on what I do have and the information that I do have on it.
And if I remember correctly, that was more of a rulemaking side of things, that the proposal was that the commission adopt rules forbidding or incorporating caste discrimination.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, in the RCW. Exactly.
Well, yeah.
I'll jump in here. This is AAG Kristen Lamson. So I think we need a follow-up discussion with Executive Director Armstrong. I think my understanding was that there was going to be a discussion around the issue at a retreat or something to that. So I think we need some follow-up and direction about what needs to be done and what steps need to be done. And from a rule perspective, I think part of the discussion at a retreat or a future meeting was intended to talk about the roles and authorities of the commission. Adding caste discrimination to WALAD is a legislative function, not a rule function.
Right.
So I think it's something that my understanding was that there was going to be a future meeting. So I'm not aware of a packet that's supposed to go out at this point. So I apologize if I misunderstood that. But I will follow up with Executive Director Armstrong to make sure that we're clear about when and how that information is going out. And normally, just to be clear, as the AAG, I'm an advisor to the commission, and policy development is usually done at the staff or commissioner level. So I'm happy to share resources and information, but it's not normally my role to do policy development, but to advise on policy issues and information that you're considering. So I will talk more with Executive Director Armstrong, and we can figure out our plan going forward on that issue. But it is on and flagged for attention. And I think we just need further discussion about what our next steps are. So thank you. And sorry if there was confusion on my end about what I need to be delivering.
Kristen, just so that I guess so I'm clear, is it your perspective that addressing caste discrimination cannot be done by rule?
Well, it depends on what you mean by address. So I think if you want to add caste discrimination as a protected class, that's a legislative function that it would need to be added, the 4960 RCW 4960, which is where all the protected classes are set out in statute. That's a legislative function. If you mean address, there may be other things that the commission is authorized to do, such as education and training type issues, doing coordination with other state agencies or external constituents. So there's a number of things that you might be able to do to address, but if you're actually wanting to have caste discrimination as that to be prevented and a protected class within WALAD, that's a legislative function.
Right. We did that in terms of discrimination based on immigration status. You know, the RCW had to be changed to include that as a protected class.
Okay. So we probably should discuss in a separate setting what the intention is behind that. And if it is a legislative change, then it's something we can certainly discuss with the key people that do that and go from there.
That's great.
It's helpful to know, though, that it's not something that can be accomplished via rulemaking. And of course, we can't rule make our way out of our statutes that
Right.
are enacting statutes or otherwise. But it's good at least to know the path moving forward.
And I just want to add that we talked about having a retreat and we can put it on the agenda if you all want to talk about put it on the agenda for next month to talk about the retreat and what the agenda of the retreat is going to be. And we could add, some type of a study session, who knows, as it relates to caste discrimination.
Yeah, I think a retreat would be wonderful. I mean, I've been on the commission now for what, 2+ years, and I know we've all aspired for one, and life has gotten in the way of everybody. So we have enough new folks that it makes sense, and we should get together and meet one another in person rather than over zeros and ones. So yes, if that can be addressed next time, we should do so. Let's set a date and go from there.
Great.
Excellent.
All right. The next agenda item is our update from Kristen Lamson.
Good morning, everyone. I actually just want to say welcome to Commissioner Jasmine, and my update is actually going to be during the executive session, which is towards the end of the meeting. So I will not take up any time right now. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
I have a follow-up question. A couple of meetings ago, I brought up the case that your office, the AG's office, filed on behalf of farm workers in Central Washington, and it was my understanding that you were going to give a full report on that. Is that happening, or?
I don't think I have that report for you today. I apologize. That is something that is handled by our Civil Rights Division. So I don't think they provided an update on that. I will bring that back next month, and I apologize that that's another delay, but I do not have access to that case. I need to get it from our Civil Rights Division.
Okay, yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you have any specific questions about it, or just a brief explanation? Do you have anticipated, or are there specific areas or information that you're looking to get?
I just wanted to get a report on it's basically the first time that I know of that this kind of case has been filed on, and using it's usually a labor case, but here the AG's office used employment discrimination law is one of the main causes of action. So I would like an explanation of how they did it, and and talking. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, up next on our agenda is an opportunity for public comment. Do we have any members of the public wishing to make a comment? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into our executive session, which is line item number 8 on our agenda. Kristen, do we need to do anything? I can't remember. Do we need to do anything specific before we go into executive session?
Yes. So normally when we go into executive session, we make an announcement. For the purpose of the executive session is to discuss litigation, active litigation. that is against or with the Human Rights Commission, and that's pursuant to RCW 4230-110-1I. And we will likely be in executive session for about 15 minutes. So I would say that we would come back into open session. What time is it now? I have 10:11. Do we want to say 10:25? We'll be back in open session.
Sure.
And so at this point, I think the appropriate people to be in executive session are the commissioners, Executive Director Armstrong and Deputy Director Strong Moss and myself.
All right, I will adopt everything that Kristen just said as my own. All those who are not included in that list of folks, we invite you to hop off and we'll see you back at 10:25.
Okay.